to try to address the corruption within the EFCC. It's people stealing exhibits, money and all that, and even jewelry. How far have you gone with your task of sanitizing the agency itself?
Thank you very much for that question. One of the major issues I took up upon my assumption of office is the issue of internal cleansing. I didn't hide it. The first 3 months after my assumption of office, I wrote a letter, as it were, an intra-mail to all my staff. That was where the issue of people saying that I said that my staffs are corrupt. That's where the issue came up. I wrote a friendly letter to all my staff, and I made them understand the need for us to have integrity. And between me and you, sir, you can't do this work when your hands are soiled. Yes. When you have integrity, you won't have the confidence to work. Because you can't look at the person that you have collected bribe from or money from in the eyes and say, I want to interrogate you. And you will do the work dispassionately. And so I said, look, it is important for us. This issue of lack of transparency, issue of corruption, we need to nip it in the bud. And we are going to work on it, and I will make sure that people we get will make them scapegoats. So I warned them. That was like a warning, to warn them before I acted. And so we started. The first thing we did was to establish some processes that will help us expose people like that. We came up with what we call gift and hospitality policy, which was never in existence. Because you can't hold somebody responsible for something that you have not created policy or regulation to checkmate. So if somebody, for example, says, I'm burying my father, and my elder brother comes around from abroad and he gave me 50 million. So what we have done now, in order to strengthen our position, say, look, there is a limit to what you can get from people. Even if it's a legitimate gift, by virtue of the work we do, there is a limit to what you can collect. And even when you collect it, there is a process to follow. There is a register we have opened, put it there, so that when issues come up, we can defend you. So that's what we have done with that. We also carried out, we also told them, look, declare your assets. That was the first thing I did when I got to office. You know, and we carry a check on that.
That's for all categories of staff.
Everybody. Because if you have to do this work, it's like coming to equity. Your hands must be clean. So having done that, we set up our disciplinary panel. Those who have had pending cases that have not been attended to, allegations of corruption and all that, we dealt with all that. And the new cases we discovered, we also brought them on board. And so that was what led to my dismissal of 27 of my staff last year. Nobody forced us to do that. But being an insider, I know that you cannot do this work when your hands are soiled. As I'm talking to you, just a couple of hours before you came in, I've already approved the dismissal of an additional number of people, which I'm not going to disclose now until we release the memo to the relevant department. So it has really worked. I'm not saying may they never come that everybody here will be a saint. I'm not saying that. It is practically impossible. In as much as we are not saying that, we also want to assure you that there's a level of sanity in the system now. People, the awareness is there that when you do wrong, it will be met with sanctions. And so far, we've been able to apply reasonable punishment and sanctions to wrongdoing. And not only people are corrupt, even people who are overzealous in the course of operations.
Now, talking about your achievements,